Hi, everybody. I'm Lorrie Gambacorda.
And I'm Lisa Byrne, and we are from E.P.I.C, Empowering People, Inspiring Community, Conscious Living magazine. And today on our E.P.I.C Experts Interviews, we're grateful to have with us Lorrie Lawrence from Sedona and Pagosa Wellness. Welcome.
Hi, ladies. How are you?
Great.
We are absolutely fabulous. Thank you for joining us today. And we know that there's several moving parts to your business and that you have several niches that you serve. So why don't we start by you giving the viewers a broad overview of your business.
So Sedona Wellness was founded here in Sedona, Arizona, which is where I'm at right now, in about 2004, actually. And this came out of a need that was met with me taking the roots of what I grew up with American Indian medicine and becoming an allopath, realizing that that didn't cover all the bases, and focusing in and specializing in Ayurvedic medicine. So I went to several teachers and worked with and became an educator at the Chopra Center in California, and worked together with Dr. Vasant Lal at the Ayurvedic Institute in New Mexico, Albuquerque, New Mexico. And Sedona was kind of in the middle of both places. So my father moved here, who is my teacher, and he's the medicine man in our culture. And so I stayed close to him and kind of penduled between the two locations, and that's how it was born here in Sedona. As the years progressed, I moved the location right outside of Sedona into a small town called Clarkdale so that we could have a very remote and quiet, unplugged place for people to go and heal and retreat, and our cleanse programs developed out of that. So what we do here at Sedona Wellness and Pagosa Wellness is focus on each individual using the model of Ayurvedic medicine to cover all their needs. We look into what their medical history is, how we can help them reach their goals, however broad those goals might be. So here we're set up to focus on cleanse programs to detox the mind, detox the body, and help people get on the right path, giving them a roadmap to a wellness way for them and continued ongoing support. That became very well established here, and we found that there was a need for it up in another area that we were in often, in Pagosa Springs, Colorado. So we opened up our Pagosa Springs, Colorado location in the area that it is right now officially a year ago. And that's located on Highway 160 at the Best Western Hotel Resort, where we are also able to have our cleanse programs, and we have created a spa environment there. There's also a fitness center with it and an indoor pool. So it's kind of very well-rounded. People that are a little bit more hardcore, wanting to unplug and really get her done, come down here to Sedona, and we put them through a 5-day program, which we've kind of over the years found that's the most effective way to go through the process. And then we can do the same thing up in Pagosa. It's a little bit more of a spa experience there.
That's great.
And so that's the first step of it, and then we have our continued education programs, which we can speak of later.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you about, if you wanted to dive into some of the other aspects. We know that you have a continuing ed program for medical holistic providers, and then also other educational avenues for the general public to learn more about holistic health.
Right. So we have found that there's a great need for education for the general public, and even for our practitioners and my colleagues that I work with that are in the Western medical field, the allopathic field, to help them feel more comfortable with the different modalities that are available in naturopathic medicine. And so this is what is now known as integrative medicine, a Western practitioner working together with a naturopath, or having those modalities in their own toolbox to work with their patient or their client to help them have a more effective experience. A lot of people today are looking for other options for their healthcare, and we're starting to, that bridge is starting to become more well-traveled. And so I have the great experience of working together in both locations with my fellow allopaths that know how we practice and we know how they practice, and we work together in many different kinds of cases, even the most distinct cases, to assist somebody on their road to wellness. So that's kind of my biggest goal, to help bridge that in a more effective way. And the best way to do that is education. So we offer that in many different ways to our to people that are in the field of bodywork, to nurses, yoga practitioners, doctors, and then there are several of our workshops that are interesting and open to the public as well. It doesn't just have to, you don't have to just necessarily be a medical practitioner. So those are ongoing every year. And another way that we educate is through the events and conferences that we have co-founded or that we participate in as continuing education providers, and productions that we do that are totally wellness oriented and driven to help educate the public. Media is a very powerful tool to help people understand other things that they didn't know existed. So that's something that's very close to my heart.
And thank you for filling that role. That is, extremely important. We try to do the same with the magazine, educating people so that it's not like these extremes of, black and white, allopathic medicine and, naturopathic medicine, but helping people to really understand how their bodies work and why it's important to do some of those things. So I know that the cleanse is a very important part of what you do. So can you tell people why do they need to cleanse? What are some of the benefits they can get from that, and help them understand their bodies a little bit better?
That's right, Lorrie. Thanks for bringing that up. So one thing that I found over the years is that helping people by meeting them where they're at is the most effective place to start. And what recently just came up with a patient that I had was to help her accept meeting herself where she's at. And that was such a profound experience that I had. This was just last week. And I said, wow, we're always focusing as practitioners to meet them where they're at and then help them from there. I think that people accepting where they're at first and then being okay with that, or helping them find a way to be okay with that, is part of our job. A lot of times people are coming with questions because they're confused about the information they've received on their journey, on their wellness journey. And so we spend the time and have the opportunity to spend the time with them on helping them understand all of that. So whether that's lab work or their medical history or what's coming next and anything that's going on with them, they come with questions, they come with wishes, they come with desires. And so the best place to start is to create a baseline. And that baseline is achieved through getting their body cleaned out so that we can start healing them.
So could you elaborate a little bit more on what does a 5-day timeline look like if they come and do a cleanse, so people know what they can expect through that type of experience?
So the first day that they arrive, they have an orientation, and there is a consultation that includes an exam. It includes going through the Ayurvedic model. We go through every food group and treat them as a distinct individual so that they can understand what they're going to be doing for the rest of their life. So it's not a diet that they're going to be put on. It's a it's a way of life. It's a way of eating that will continue with them. And that's when I refer back to that roadmap that helps them know how to do it. I want them to be able to access their own inner pharmacy and not have to count on external relationships with doctors and hospitals and all of that. I want them to be able to go there themselves and know how to do it. So that's part of all of it, is educating them during the process of their cleanse program to understand that. And then they have an itinerary. So we review the itinerary together. They receive on that first day all of their supplements and anything they're going to be using during the program. It can be done several different ways. Some people choose to only go through the process with herbs. Some people choose to go through the process with specially prepared food that's specific for them, which I prepare for them on my own. And then some people prefer to do it with food. So whenever they're doing this program here in Sedona, we're providing all of that for them. There's a lot of juicing going on so that they're getting a dense amount of nutrients during the time that they're detoxing their body. Then there's about 12 different treatments that occur during the process. These treatments are meant to clear out as much of the candida in their body as possible. Candida is good, it's on us, it's in us, but when it's in an overabundance in our system, it creates environments for disease to develop. So we want to get that cleared out. We're working on cleansing the body through chelation therapy and detoxing the system through different kinds of herbal enemas and getting as many herbs and specific kinds of oils and that we can in and on the person during these 5 days. All of those herbs and oils are directly related to specific systems in the body, and especially the metabolic functions. We want to get the different organs to clear out so that it can function more efficiently.
So I want to turn to diagnostics for a minute, because I know that one of the things that that you offer is thermal imaging.
Yes.
So can you explain what that is and how that works for people, and that it's an alternative to what types of other tests?
Sure. So thermal imaging, which is also part of the cleanse program, is a full body diagnostic. We can also do partial bodies. It's meant to take the place of a diagnostic that will, for example, radiology. So I don't know if you knew this, but a CAT scan is the equivalent of 21 radiation, so like x-rays, the amount of radiation that's exposed during one x-ray study. So the thermal imaging, it's absolutely does not have any of that. It functions with the heat signatures in the body. So the study is done with the thermal imaging camera, and the image that you come up with will look like a rainbow spectrum, and those different areas that will show any kind of a condition or a questionable situation will show up with different heat signatures. So all the tissue in our body has different heat signatures. Our physiology functions differently all the time as well. So there is a preparatory process that is done the day before so that you're on a baseline when you come in for your thermal imaging study. It can take the place of a mammogram, for example, which is very popular. Women prefer to do that over the exposure that can happen during a regular mammogram. So we are able to detect earlier as well a potential situation in the tissue. So after we do the study, we use a certain software that determines what the heat signatures are in those areas. And based on what that heat signature is, it will indicate what kind of tissue that is. So it might be inflammation, it might be a tumor, it might be many, many variables of things. So that's how we determine all of that.
That's fascinating and great, opportunity for people to have alternative ways to have diagnostics so that they aren't putting themselves at a deeper level of risk by the exposure to the radiation. So thanks for offering that. And you said that that's also part of the cleanse, but can people come for just individual segments? Like if they want to just come for a functional medicine workup or the thermography, like let us know a little bit about just day-to-day services, because I know you guys have day-to-day services, you have the cleanses, you also have retreats, maybe how those would differ from the things you've already talked about.
Okay, thank you, Lisa. So the daily services that we offer are also still meant to benefit the body through cleansing the body. We do medical massage, for example. With medical massage, we're addressing specific injuries and doing therapy that's ongoing with people that wish to remedy that challenge without having surgery or and so on. We also we do cold laser therapy. So when we're doing medical massage, a lot of times we're applying the cold laser. The cold laser is meant to heal osseous tissue and soft tissue on a deeper level. It's very, very effective. It's non-invasive. So that's something that is used oftentimes during a medical massage treatment. There are lovely spa treatments that we offer. We have an herbalist that makes a lot of our products. They're beautiful products. They're for couples treatments or for just a day off, just like that. And so really day spa possibilities are there. You can come and have natural facials. We offer natural facials. We have a wonderful esthetician. And so people like to come and just take the day off, get a robe, stay in the robe, and wander around and lay on the lounge chairs or the patios and have cool drinks and all the fun things we have going on around here. If you come in for a treatment one day, there might be something else going on. And so we'll just say, here, come on, would you like to have this or that? And so it's a lot of fun. It's a very family environment. Everybody that works on the team, we've been together for a while. And we've done lots of retreat events and things like that. So yes, you can come and just have a day off and relax and not even worry about detoxing or any of that. And yeah, so it's really, it's the whole point is for us to unplug and relax. A lot of these treatments, even the Ayurvedic treatments, are meant to still the central nervous system. So through these therapies, we're affecting the lymphatic system, we're affecting the central nervous system. And when you do that enough through practices in your life, whether that's meditation or going somewhere where you can unplug, contemplation, doing your inner work, when you do that enough, then you strengthen your immune system. And that's the bottom line. That's where the bottom line is. So we really want to do that, and that's more apparent now than ever. So during these times that we're in this year in 2020. So I feel that there's a lot that can be done to help people with that in a natural way. We're going to start, one of the things I've been wanting to do for a long time is offer a free clinic. We're starting to do that in Pagosa next month, where people can come in and they just come in, they sign up. It's first come, first serve. During these times, we are having people call in to sign up, and it's a free 15-minute session where I'll be going through anything that is a concern for them and doing a pulse reading to see where their system's at, where their baseline is at, make any recommendations that I can in that time that we have, and do this all for free. I've been wanting to do this for years and years and years, so we're starting it next month.
That's great. That's a great offering to the community.
Yeah, it's a give back. It's important.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about you. So I'm curious. You had mentioned your dad earlier on. So what are some of the influences, either people or experiences you've had that kind of sent you down this path to have this passion for Ayurveda and holistic health?
That's interesting. I realized when I was really young that things weren't moving fast enough for me with the public school system. So I got out quickly and had my dad march me down to the college to sign up for medical classes. And So that's what I did. I was 16 at the time, and as the years went on, it kept that interest remained. I went into the service, the military, and because I had had that schooling, they made me a field medic. So I got to go through that experience, and that was a very big learning experience that was invaluable for me to be able to give on and offer to other people. And then after that, I was nursing at the VA in California, one of the VAs in California. And during that time, I decided to go back to medical school. So I had a wonderful professor. We were in a human dissection course, which was also a very valuable tool for me to have that has served me well. And she was very hardcore allopathic Western medicine. So she heard me talking to another student about some naturopathic things that I had learned from my father in medicine. And she wasn't very happy about that. So I realized that that was not the right path for me to follow, that there was more and better and other options. People should have the right to be able to get the information they need, to be able to get the services that they need. I mean, even ask that question and not be, disenchanted about it. So that led me to think about a book I had read when I was, maybe 20. And it was, I think, the first book that Deepak Chopra wrote. And I didn't really quite understand it at the time. My father was, as he was Native American, we grew up going to church on Sunday and then going to powwows. So kind of not really realizing what was going on, that altar got passed down to me, and I learned a lot from him about this practice. So I went back to find out who wrote that book, and it was Deepak Chopra. So I said, I need to find this guy, not knowing he was already like world famous and this and that, and talk to him about this. So 6 months later, I was sitting with him, and during that time, I was really lucky and very fortunate to have been part of these wellness families, I'll call them, in the early days. Dr. David Simon was part of the Chopra Center, and I learned a lot from him about the Ayurvedic medicine aspect of it, and a lot about the philosophy of it and the lifestyle of it from Dr. Chopra. I continued on to mentor and work together with Dr. Vasant Lad at the Ayurvedic Institute. So I've had these amazing teachers in my life, and everything I do, all the reason that I'm doing this is to continue to honor them and pass this on any way that I can with people through their own personal wellness, but also through helping them. A lot of my patients have become practitioners of Ayurveda. So it's a wonderful, perfect circle that has been closed with that. And I love to mentor people down that path as much as I can and teach them these modalities in any way possible. So yeah, that's kind of my story. My business partner, Anne, came into the picture, and that's another great story for a different day. And she is in Pagosa Springs, so that kind of prompted us to develop the center there. And I'm so happy that we've opened it there, because there is a large community of people there that are looking for another way, for an alternative way, and to have ongoing support with their wellness journey. And so that's another thing, how I feel so fortunate. We have amazing people that come in, amazing people. I don't want to call them patients, because a lot of times they become friends and are star patients, because they really commit to the process. And it's a beautiful thing to see them come out to the place they want to be.
So a couple words come to mind, and it's like overachiever and trailblazer. So thank you for, all of that insight into how these influences in your life have then turned into you having these two amazing centers, which really are complete wellness centers. It sounds like people can come in for whatever they need. If it's just their spa day, just to get a breath of air, all the way to them really having the insights for themselves that this may be how they hold space and give gifts to the world by becoming practitioners. So it is a great full circle, and we honor you for, you know, sharing your truth and your gifts and your passion to help other people in their lives. And I love Anne too, so it's great that you guys are partnering together. And
She's such a great person. She's really committed to this path herself, and that's how it occurred that we became business partners, because she was seeking this out together with her husband, and the journey just kept going from there, and it's amazing.
Let's shift a little bit to, you had talked about the whole production aspect of media and being able to share with people. And so tell us a little bit more about the events that you're offering, and have they shifted now in the times of COVID? Or are you doing some online things with films, events, etc.?
Yes, so we that was an interesting journey into COVID for us, because we were literally about to unleash a very large event here in Sedona. It's the Sedona Yoga Festival. It's an amazing event, and it happens every year. We were going into, I believe, our 8th year, and we had to make a decision on the spot when the governor made the announcements here in Arizona to pull the event. I had teams all over the location to unload and set up, and we had people flying in from all over the world. And so rather than have people that were flying in from all over the world get stuck here, we decided to cancel the event. So I'm the production manager for that event, and there's many moving parts, and there's so much transformation that happens during these events. My motivation to be involved in these very demanding projects is to also provide the education. That's what they're coming for. They're learning, they're taking classes. There's an environment of camaraderie and healing that happens the whole time. And it's not just for the attendees, it's for me, it's for the team, it's for everybody involved. So it's beautiful to watch what happens. I also helped co-found the Illuminate Film Festival, which is a consciousness film festival here in Sedona. Also an amazing event where people come and they have camaraderie of other people that have like interests. So for me, what's interesting about these events and festivals is that it's a place where people can go, even if it's just once a year, that they have the opportunity to be unplugged and meet other people that are like-minded, and just kind of be in that environment where they learn and absorb and develop and have experiences that stay with them for the rest of their life. It brings awareness to them about the environment, about their health, about their personal enrichment. So these are wonderful things that happen in this area. And when all of this, when we had these COVID situations going on and we had to cancel events and continue to cancel events, we had to reinvent how we do what we do. So reinventing that for a lot of people meant going to the online platforms, which has been incredible. And actually, in the end, I feel like a lot more people have been able to be exposed to things they didn't know about before. We do, the disadvantage, I think, of that is that we are not able to gather in a group of like-minded people, going back to that. So that will change, that will evolve. And so we are starting our own productions. We're starting a wellness conference next year in the Pagosa area. And there's a few other ones that are still in the works, so I won't talk about it yet. And yeah, those kinds of environments are important. A way to get around that, resolve the large gathering areas, is to have retreats. And this is something that we focused on over the years and love to do. And it ranges from a women's wellness retreat to a cancer immersion retreat for people who are going through programs for their healing and their alternative therapies, and bringing together the caretakers and the patients with the practitioners so that everybody can come together. All of these retreats are immersive and all inclusive. So there's the food and nutrition is all very wellness oriented. We have amazing instructors that come in for these, whether it's advanced science courses that happen during them or complete personal enrichment focused things with ceremonial. It's a wide range of possibilities that happen with the retreats, and they're always very transformative. So those are nice because they're a little bit more intimate. The groups are fairly small, and yeah.
You offer so many different things. I'm like in awe of everything that you're doing. It's amazing. So
Thank you.
and you clearly have a big heart, and you're clearly a giver. So
Thanks.
what do you do for yourself? So when you want to unplug and you want to engage in self-care, what are some of the things that you do for yourself?
Well, I'm kind of a recluse when I'm not doing all these other things. So I like to unplug in places where there's water. So just so you know, all the locations that we're at are very natural. There is a river there where I live, and also at both locations, there's a river, completely accessible, natural water. So a well and natural sources of water for the location, lakes. So for me, I like to go to a body of water and just rest. Even though I grew up on the ocean, I love rivers and lakes. That's my preference, and one of the reasons I love to be in the Pagosa location. And then here in Sedona, we have a little path right off of our porch that goes right down to the river here. So I like to go be in remote environments. I like to go into the woods. And I also like to do things like mountain biking and just definitely nature-oriented activities as much as possible. I love to soak in the hot springs in Pagosa Springs. That's awesome. I've never been to yours in Durango yet. And yeah, that's what I do. I love to spend time. My son's here in Sedona, so when I'm here, I get to see him, and that's always so nice. So just the simple things, because my life is so busy that when I have the opportunity to take time for myself, and I do, it has to be something where I can kind of unplug and be with my friends and my family, and I have a great guy that's awesome. So I'm really lucky about that. And our life's very natural. In fact, you'll love this. We loaded up my truck with produce in New Mexico from my garden that went crazy. I don't know what happened. It just went so out of control. We have so much produce. So I brought it out here for all my friends and anybody that's around right now. So everybody's coming over tonight to get a lot of good stuff, and we're juicing and all. It's great. So much fun.
Yeah, when you're in a place where you're giving and giving and giving all the time of yourself, it's a necessity to have that downtime. So that's cool, right? You're like, I'm in this complete outward state, and now I'm doing my whole remote thing.
Yeah.
For you to feel that way. I wanted to ask you that if you could go back in time and offer your younger self some advice, what would that be?
Ha. It would be to take time out more. stop, think, listen. It would be to be less judgmental, more compassionate. One of my teachers said, before you speak, to ask yourself, is it true? Is it necessary? Is it kind? When I learned that, that became one of my mantras. I'm still trying to be good at it. So yeah, taking a moment. When I was younger, I would have loved to known to just take a moment before I moved and be able to observe more. So along the way, we learned about Don Miguel Ruiz was great with his teachings about that, to be the observer, right? So that's a great lesson. That's a great lesson. And I think when we're young, we're moving so fast that we are goal-oriented and driven, and don't do that as much. Even if we're in this field, even when we're giving, even when we're healing, even when we're here to help. Green Tara, one foot's always ready to help every sentient being when we're out there. We still have to remember those things, I think.
Thank you for that. That was beautiful.
Yeah,
I think
totally
that's
beautiful.
the pausing and listening and compassion. It's a common answer we get. So
Really? That's
it's
great.
it's interesting, how we look back and the things that we've learned throughout our life and our life experience. So let's go in the opposite direction now. Project into the future. You're older. Maybe you're getting ready to retire.
I'm already older.
What's your legacy? What do you hope that when you look back on your life, that your biggest contribution to your community and to humanity is?
Everything I'm doing now, I wouldn't change, and I hope that it will be carried on. Yeah.
That's also beautiful, and there's so much that you've already packed in to what you've offered that I'm sure that ripple effect will last, for eons. So congratulations on.
That's my greatest wish, to help people be that in the future and into the future.
Perfect. Well, as we're almost ready to close our interview with you, is there anything that we haven't really covered that you can think of that you want to offer back to people, and also let them know how they can get in touch with you via your website, the locations, all of that contact info?
Yeah, so it's Sedona with a hyphen. SedonaWellness.com is our website, or Pagosawellness.com. And we can be emailed at info@sedonawellness.com or info@pagosawellness.com. So it's real easy. Our phone numbers are on our website. And yeah, I'd love people to come for a visit because they love to stay. And we love to have people coming in and bringing their families, and it's so nice. People come back. We are working with people that we've been working with for years and years, and it's really great to see people's lives grow and evolve, and yeah, come to these beautiful locations.
Thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule to talk to us today. We really appreciate it, and it's really been a pleasure getting to know you better.
Thank you for doing what you do too, both of you.
Thank you. And we just want to remind people that you said you are starting to do the 15-minute free appointments.
It's a free clinic, so there'll be like 15-minute slots that people can fill, and I'm gonna go from early morning till as late as we're open, and help it, just reach as many people as possible. It's an opportunity for them to get a little bit more awareness. There'll be handouts available and other information, and team members and practitioners there to talk to. So So this is a great moment to get a glimpse into their inner universe through the power of the pulse reading. It's a very profound natural diagnostic tool.
Great. Thank you again so much.
Thank you both so much.
If people want more information, again, visit Lorrie at sedona-wellness.com or pregosawellness.com, and you can also visit epicmag.org. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.